Welcome back, everyone. You're tuning in to the second hour of our tbs eFM 11th anniversary special, Live, Love, Life in Korea. I'm your host, Alex Sigrist.
And I'm Nasingyan. Alex, we had a really fun time speaking to our guests.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we really got to see how expats here in Korea are also helping to spread Korean culture throughout the world, right?
Definitely. And the best part of it all is that they're able to do this in so many different ways through language, education, music, and art. And there are so many other ways beyond that where the expat community is doing that these days.
And our four guests are going to stay with us for the second hour of our show. But in part three, all of us here on the show are also going to be treated to an incredible music performance. We're going to be inviting the Blue Wine Jazz Band, and they're a Seoul-based expat music group, and they combine both pop music, classical music to create incredible fusion music.
It is the best of both worlds, and it seems like this has been the theme for today as well. So keep it locked in on 101.3 tbs eFM. This is the 11th anniversary special, Live, Love, Life in Korea. So let's start off the second hour with the Blue Wine Jazz Band. The song is All of Me.
All of me. Why not take all of me? Oh, can't you see I'm no good without you? Take my lips, I wanna lose them. I'll take my arm, I never use them. Your goodbye, that left me where I then cry. Oh, how can I get along without you? You took that part that once was my heart. So why not? Oh, why not take all of me? You took that part, oh, that used to be my heart. All of me, why not take all of me? Oh, can't you see I'm a mess without you? You took that part.
Jazz Band with All of Me, kicking off the third part of our program. What an amazing performance. This song, All of Me, has been covered by so many artists like Frank Sinatra, Michael Bublé,
right. Yeah.
and now by Jake Wu with the Blue Wine Jazz Band. Wow, that's a great addition. Thank you guys. Did you guys enjoy it too?
Yes.
Yes.
It was quite an amazing thing to see live as well too. Not just in a jazz club, but on stage here.
Just a couple of meters away, you could feel all the bass and the drums like literally through our bodies.
Yeah, that was so.
That was amazing.
It was. Do any of you listen to jazz music?
Yes, I enjoy the jazz music, especially the old songs. Everyone says like I'm old-fashioned. No, I really enjoy Frank Sinatra, Louis Armstrong, Ella Fitzgerald, Joy Williams, Nina Simone. There are many great songs, and right now I'm really impressed because we listen to a lot of fusion music, combining the old style with new style, and it's really amazing.
Absolutely. So let's get to meet the Blue Wine Jazz Band, shall we? We want to meet all of you. Did you like that? Okay. Not all of me, but all of
Oh,
you.
that flew over my head. Sorry.
All right. If you'd like to introduce yourselves, let's
Sure.
start with you, Guillaume.
Yeah, so I'm Guillaume, I'm from France. Today I brought my friends to play with me, so that's my band, the Blue Wine Jazz Band, and I've been in Korea for around 5 years now.
Okay. Would your friends like to introduce themselves too?
My name is Dmitry. I'm from Ukraine. I live in Korea 16 years.
16
Yes.
years.
Very like Korea, very beautiful country, very nice country for life.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
and you're playing the contrabass right there, right?
Right, he does.
And?
On the keyboard.
Yeah, my name is Slava. It's my actually nickname. Mostly, I play the keyboard. So also long time staying here in Korea since September 2000. It's also next year is gonna be 20 years already. So can just repeat what the previous member said. That like very beautiful country. It's almost like half of my creative life.
Wow.
As well as much as I remember myself. My daughter was born here and everything experienced, like good and bad.
Amazing. Great to have you
That's
on the
incredible.
show.
Thank you very much for inviting. Thank you. Thank you.
So, coming up on 20 years, Jake, how long have you been in Korea?
Me?
Yes.
All my life, I have been living in Korea all my life, but I have been living in for a year Paris, for a year Italy, something like that. So yeah, I sing the jazz music, but my favorite jazz music is bossa nova, swing, standard jazz, something like that. Yeah, so
All right.
we play every kind of jazz music. Yeah.
Okay.
So, a few of you are from Seoul Pop's Orchestra. Can you tell us a little bit about this group and how it came to be, and also how did you all meet? What is your backstory here?
Yeah, so the Seoul Pop Orchestra it's actually the oldest pop orchestra in Seoul, in Korea. It's based on the Boston Pops, similar concept, and I don't remember, maybe 30 years or something like that. So it's a very famous orchestra, and three of us have been playing there. I'm still currently a member, along with the bass player. So we also met there, and then we also met playing in the jazz clubs, especially Jake. That's how we met.
Right. I heard that Jake met with you, Guillaume, in Itaewon, right?
That's right.
Itaewon
Not
Jazz Club.
At a
on the
jazz
stage.
club, of
Yeah.
course, yes, just to make that sure. So, not only do you have a daytime job as part of the Seoul Pops Orchestra, but you also perform in jazz as well. And then, Guillaume, I understand that you also busk as well.
Oh yeah. Actually, I started busking after I came to Korea. So I have also a band, pop rock band with whom we busk in Shincheon or in near the Hangan River in Yeouido.
And how have you found the audience to be receptive to all these different genres of music that you play? Because you are playing very different types of music.
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I think Korean audience is a bit different from what I'm used to, and especially busking. It's surprisingly working well, and people are really good listener to busking. So, I mean, compared to France, I never thought it could work so well to busk and be so fun actually, because really a lot of people just go to see buskings even in those places. So really good, and I think jazz club too. People are good listeners in Korea usually. Yeah, I think.
So you said pop music. What kind of pop music? Are you doing Korean pop as well, or is it international?
We play mostly covers and yeah, mostly international music. So well, sometimes also Korean, older Korean songs. We remake them a little funkier.
Yeah. So I know a couple of other guests here. You've probably been to Sinchon, Hongdae. How do you feel about the busking culture in Korea as it compares to home, or have you found anything enjoyable? I know, in fact, Nicola, your brother,
My brother is a famous busker.
he's done some drumming. What kind of drumming does he do?
He's a regular drummer, but he also does bucket drumming. So he's a little bit famous around the world for what he does. A lot of people don't make the connection, and then sometimes he'll pop up in one of our videos, and people will be like, "You two are related."
Is he in Korea as well?
He's actually arriving tomorrow morning.
Oh, wow.
He's visiting for a few weeks.
Will he be busking?
I think he will. I think he's got his buckets with him, so he's going to be out and about, and
He'll
in
have his
Seoul
bucket
as
with
well.
him, so
Yeah.
he'll be busking.
Recently, there's been a lot of, a lot of dance covers that go on and busking and stuff. But, you're in the hip hop scene. Have you seen any hip hop people busking, people on the street doing that?
Yeah, there's actually quite a few shows online that you can watch of just like hip hop people busking in Hongdae and stuff like that. And yeah, like he said, it's quite different from home. And I'm from the country, so there's nothing. Busking doesn't exist
Not in
there.
Alabama.
But here it's like if you want to busk in Hongdae, you have to make a reservation online. And if you go to the Mapogu website, like when it's reservation time, it's so slow just because everybody's trying to sign up for those perfect times. It can take like 30 minutes to an hour just to load a page sometimes, like no exaggeration. So it's pretty popular here.
Pretty competitive to
Yeah.
sort of cough a soft spot for busking. Guillaume, do you also busk in Hongdae? What's your main area, and where do you and when do you busk?
Where can we find you?
Exactly.
Yeah, so actually, Hongdae they have small stages, and our band we are 5 or 6, so we can't really perform there. We go perform in Shincheon mostly, or Yeouido, or we go around Seoul like Sambon or sometimes Ilsan. And as you say, it's became very regulated. So now we have to sign up, register for busking. We have specific time and places, and I think it's good because otherwise there's always the likelihood of some shops, complaining because it can be a lot of noise as well. So I think it's overall it's a good thing. It's very impressive how it's developed there.
Are you busking at that red periscope thing? Is that where you...
Yes,
Right
that's
there,
exactly
okay.
there, yeah.
Very good. When can we find you there?
I think
Usually.
on the 13th of December,
Okay.
I will be there.
Very good. In the evening time?
Or yeah, around 6 p.m.
All right, very good. Before you go into your next song, maybe a quick introduction of how the Blue Wine Jazz Band was formed. You didn't form especially for our 11th anniversary special, did you?
No.
No?
It's been.
Oh, I was kind of expecting that. But
It's been a year. So, in the jazz industry, it's a lot of independent players, and we call each other when I need a bass player. I'm gonna call Dima, or if he's busy, someone else. So the members change a lot. So. It's not a regular band, I'll say. It's more like a project. And when I get the gig, when I get called for a show, I use my band's name, which is Blue Wine Jazz Band, and I'll call usually those friends, today's friends, but it can change as well.
So why blue wine?
I wanted to have the name wine in there because I love wine.
and blue kind of goes with jazz, I guess.
Exactly, yeah.
That worked out really well. That's very cool. And so you have another song that you've prepared for us, right?
Yes.
What can you tell us a little bit about that song you're gonna play for us next?
Okay, so the next song is I've Never Been in Love Before. So that's another jazz standard. It's been written in the 50s. It was part of a musical, The Guys and Dolls. Actually, a lot of jazz standards came from musicals, and they became famous through the musical, and then all the pop singers will, sing them again and make them jazz standard like we know today.
Very good. So when you're ready, let's hear I've Never Been in Love Before.
Never been in love forevermore. I never been in love before. Now all I want is you forevermore. I never been in love before. I thought my heart was safe. I thought I knew the score. But this is why there's are two strange and strong. I feel awfully so, and I so much to prove. So please forgive this selfish haze of me. I really never been in love before. But this is why there's are too strange and strong. I'm full of really song, and my so much to prove. So please forgive this selfish haze of me. I really never been in love before.
Wow, that was. We should do this more often.
We
We have a
should.
band every show up. That'd be great.
It felt like I was kind of transported into a dark, smoky, cozy club, though. You know, like when we think of jazz clubs like from the movies, or one of my favorite clubs in Itaewon before it moved to its new location was exactly that. It was so smoky, it was dark and tightly packed, but I kind of almost missed that. And you perform as part of the orchestra in big concert halls, you perform in clubs, you perform on the streets. What attracts you to all of those different places? What's the merit of performing in all those different places?
I mean, overall, it's just playing music, whether in big concert hall or on the street. Is sharing the love of music, communicating with people through, all those emotions and the songs, and that's all it is.
One of the themes that we're doing here is kind of how you're sharing culture, whether it be through music or whether it's bringing Korean culture to other parts of the world. Well, I have a question though. As a group of foreigners in Korea, are there any difficulties in having a band in Korea as an expat?
Well, language can be a barrier for sure when dealing with clients sometimes, or or club owners. But beside on that, I think in the music world it's not that difficult. I think to go through.
What about with, sometimes expats just leave, right? You have friends here, all of a sudden just kind of leave out. Do you have problems keeping members of the band, or how do you deal with that?
I think that's true, especially for rock bands. I've seen expat rock bands that it's hard just to keep the band for a long time because someone's gonna leave, and then changing is always takes a long time, changing member. But I think in the jazz industry, since it's all independent artists, changing member, it's something easier. So that's been helping the jazz industry. Yeah, I think it's okay.
Jake, we were talking a little bit before about there was maybe 10 or so years ago, there was a boom in jazz, right? And then they kind of disappeared for a while. And then, I don't know, maybe a couple of years back, because of a very famous movie, maybe, jazz kind of came back. So do you feel that jazz has really gained a new sort of generation of fans here in Korea?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, La La Land,
Yeah.
for example, is neutral. Is neutral, I think.
Mhm.
So, the movie can change our music and our lifestyle and the cultures for the music. So yeah, that's I think many audience is changing now. Yeah, they
So what-
love the jazz.
So when you go busking, do you have people calling out for songs that they want to hear?
Of course.
Yeah?
Yeah. Of course, jazz songs.
What are the most popular songs?
Actually, well, we played before All of Me. I think that's pretty popular. The next song we have after this talk also popular, and yeah, movie songs also are asked a lot.
Soundtrack,
Mm.
La La Land and the Born to Be Blue.
Yeah, or Caravan from
Checkmakers.
Whiplash. This kind of standard. Yeah.
Now, for our other guests here, have you been able to see any performances by either Korean bands, but also like expat bands in Hongdae, in Itaewon? Have you been able to make it out and maybe see rappers or rock bands or jazz bands like that?
Actually, I've been to Hongdae a few times since I've been here, but usually it's mostly Koreans. It's hard to find like expats like this, especially in a band setting. So I was actually quite surprised to see, all these expats doing jazz like this. And if I can just say, like, they probably won't tell you this, but jazz is like one of the hardest genres to do. And like, especially like he said, they're all independent artists, so they're all expected to know every single song. So when they get together, there's no practice; you just play it. And so I just want to give you guys another round of applause because that was pretty
Thanks. That's nice. Yeah, I appreciate it.
And you always have to improvise as well, right? That's kind of the nature of jazz. You
Yeah,
bring your own
usually,
style
yeah.
into it.
So we take those famous standard melodies, and then each, it depends on the setting, but usually each musician is going to have try to express himself on that melody, based on that melody, and improvise. So, but when we have like today vocal jazz, we usually we do less solos, so the vocal can sing a little more. Otherwise, it take too much time sometimes,
So it's almost as if jazz in itself is an individual sport, but a team sport at the same time. So if there's no vocalist, you have to let someone else take the spotlight for a moment while they solo, and you kind of come back.
Exactly. Yeah. So there are ways to play to support the soloist that are different than playing with a vocal or a saxophonist. So yeah, all that changes the rules a little bit of the team play. But exactly.
I imagine with the whole holiday season coming up, there'll be a lot more concerts and occasions for you guys to play together. Are there any dates that you want to share with us, or any special projects that you have coming up?
It's true that this period of the year now is getting busier, but actually we got a lot of private events because there are a lot of companies or parties that are thrown up in places and they need bands. So these are hard to invite anyone, but some of us will be playing in hotels, famous hotels around, and also jazz clubs as well. I don't have any specific day at the moment, but
December 13th at 6 p.m., was that it?
yeah, that's going to be the busking in Shincheon, yes.
We have to make sure everyone's ready for that one. It is coming up on the holiday season as well, and jazz is something that comes to mind. We have, of course, generic Christmas music as well, but having jazz in the background is something that I think would be really nice to get into.
So our expat guests, you've been kind of mellowed out by the music.
Need to bring them back up a little
Very
bit.
Bring them back
relaxed.
into that. What did you think? I don't know. What do you usually listen to when you're at home, or do you search out jazz, or do you go out to these music clubs often to listen to some live music? Kwan?
When I was a college student here, we would go to Hongdae. There's a jazz bar right across from Monster Pizza. I don't know if you guys know the corner.
Mhm.
But you go up and there are local students because Hongdae University is a very famous art school. So the local students would
Busk?
bus there at the jazz bar,
Right.
and it's that kind of feeling you were saying about. It's very close knit, maybe like table for max 10 people. Great date spot. Yeah, they
Noted.
play all night. They play until like midnight, and you'll be able to just like spend about 2 hours just listening to the students play, and they're really, really amazing.
I think a lot of people equate Hongdae just with clubs, you know, like hip-hop clubs, but you've got a diverse sort of range of music that you can enjoy there all throughout the night and all throughout the week.
I think that's the beauty of it for sure, and that's why I ended up moving near there, because it has something for everyone. It will have anything from jazz to hip hop to people doing pop music dance covers on the street to, you know, pop rock on the street. So I think that's been sort of nice living in that area, because as a few of us probably know, living there, that is a very, I would say, artistically, culturally diverse area. Mangwon, Sangsu, Hapjeong, and Hongdae in itself, and Sinchon, of course.
Do you find sometimes that the local culture affects your music? I mean, I don't know how rap the scene is in Alabama, but have you found that the Korean sort of scene affects your rapping style?
Do you write differently?
Well, yeah.
Aside from the language?
Yeah,
Well, no, I mean, you know, because you get influences from people next to you when you're here.
Well, yeah, even in America, like Alabama, it's kind of, there's the Atlanta rap scene, there's the LA, the New York, and it's, Korea is a much smaller country, so it's not as diversified like that, but you can definitely tell, especially the way when people use saturi, like their pronunciation, you can tell if somebody's from Busan or if somebody's from Seoul and that kind of thing, so yeah, for sure.
I think it is interesting you pointed out those rap communities, because a lot of the Korean hip-hop artists got their influence from specifically LA or Seattle or Atlanta, as you mentioned. And so there's a lot of influence, sharing of cultures back and forth in that scene as well.
Have you tried to do some saturi in your rapping as well?
Well, I used to live in Daegu, so if I drink a little, it'll come out, but in my rap, yeah, nah.
A little too early in the show for us today.
Really, really has been an honor to have you here. Just listening to the music has put me in a different world and stuff, and just close my eyes, and I feel like I've been transported to a jazz club in Itaewon somewhere. But before you go, is there anything else you would like to say?
Yeah, sure. First, thanks everyone for today, and I want to say to all listeners to support this kind of a radio show, because it's you know, it's needed to have culturally diverse experience. And if you liked what you hear, just find some jazz club around where you live and go check out the local artists. I'm sure you will be pleased.
Oh, thank you very much, Guillaume. And we wish the best of luck for you and the rest of the band at Blue Wine Jazz Band. That was Guillaume, Slava, Dimo, and Jake. Thank you so much for joining us on the show once again.
Yeah, so we're going to be wrapping up this part 3 of TBS eFM's 11th anniversary special, Live, Love, Life in Korea, with a little bit of help from the band themselves before they leave. We've got a song called L.O.V., and the Blue Wine Jazz Club will send us out.